The world of modern celebrity and royal tradition has always been a landscape defined by intense public fascination, where every movement, every subtle shift in posture, and every quiet departure becomes the subject of global scrutiny. For years, the collective gaze of the international community has been firmly fixed on the intricate dynamics playing out across the Atlantic, watching a narrative that feels less like contemporary news and more like an epic multi-generational drama. It is a story marked by a profound sense of distance, not just geographical but emotional, as a family navigates the complex realities of life in the public eye while attempting to forge an entirely new path. This ongoing saga has captivated millions, drawing viewers into a world where private choices have massive public echoes, and where the line between personal sanctuary and global spectacle is constantly blurred. As we begin to peel back the layers of the latest developments surrounding this high-profile family, we invite you to join our growing community of observers by subscribing to this channel, ensuring you never miss a single update as this deeply compelling narrative continues to unfold across continents. The atmosphere surrounding this narrative has grown increasingly dense in recent weeks, thick with anticipation and a palpable sense of mystery that seems to follow their every move. To truly understand the current state of affairs, one must appreciate the quiet, almost secretive nature of their latest endeavors, which stand in stark contrast to the loud, highly publicized events of their past. There is a delicate art to the way their lives are managed now, balanced precariously between a desire for absolute privacy and the unavoidable reality of their global prominence. The couple has mastered the ability to vanish from the immediate radar of the paparazzi, only to reappear in unexpected corners of the world, sparking a fresh wave of curiosity and speculation among royal watchers and the general public alike. This current chapter finds them navigating the historic landscape of Europe, a continent deeply intertwined with their history. Yet they do so under a veil of strict confidentiality that leaves many wondering about the true purpose of their journey. This European getaway is not merely a vacation, it is a calculated pause, a moment of reflection and respite away from the relentless media storm that characterizes their daily existence in California. The decision to travel across the ocean with their two young children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, signals a desire to expose the next generation to a broader world. Even as the complex web of family ties and unresolved tensions continues to loom large over their itinerary. The children, growing up far from the ancient palaces and formalized routines that define their father's youth, represent a fresh start, yet they remain intrinsically linked to a historic legacy that cannot be easily erased. The imagery of this young family moving quietly through European locales away from the immediate spotlight creates a poignant tableau of a modern family trying to establish its own traditions while carrying the immense weight of an undeniable heritage. As the summer days progress, the speculation surrounding their ultimate destination and the underlying motives for this journey continues to build, creating a narrative tension that is felt by observers worldwide. It is a journey fraught with unspoken expectations and the heavy burden of past choices, where every decision about where to stay, how to travel, and whom to meet is scrutinized for deeper meaning. The contrast between their current low-profile exploration of Europe and the grand televised events of their earlier life highlights the profound transformation they have undergone. Shifting from central figures in a traditional hierarchy to independent global actors creating their own rules. This transition has not been without its challenges, and the current ambiguity of their travel plans reflects the broader uncertainty that has defined their lives since making the monumental choice to step back from their established roles. The intrigue deepens when one considers the proximity of their current European travels to the shores of the United Kingdom, a place that represents both a foundational home and a source of profound complication. The geography of their trip places them tantalizingly close to the heart of the family dynamic, yet a significant gulf remains, defined not by miles but by unresolved questions of safety, protocol, and mutual understanding. The anticipation of a potential return to British soil has created a state of heightened awareness among the public, with many eager to see if this summer will bring a long-awaited reunion or if the barriers will prove too formidable to overcome. This sense of being on the precipice of a significant moment lends an undeniable weight to their current travels, turning a private family vacation into a prelude for what could be a defining chapter in their ongoing journey. As we watch this intricate story develop, the questions multiply and the atmosphere becomes charged with the potential for sudden change. The world waits to see how this carefully managed trip will transition from a quiet European retreat into the next major public event, and whether the meticulous planning behind the scenes will successfully navigate the complex web of public expectations and private realities. The stage is set for a deeper exploration of the challenges they face, the specific hurdles that stand in the way of their desired goals, and the ultimate resolution of a journey that has captivated the global imagination for years. The narrative continues to hang in a delicate balance, promising further revelations as the true nature of their plans gradually comes to light in the days ahead. The quiet luxury of their European sanctuary stands in stark opposition to the brewing storm across the English Channel, where the logistics of a highly anticipated return to the United Kingdom have transformed into a complex battleground of protocol, safety, and family duty. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle find themselves at a pivotal crossroads, caught between the desire to maintain their hard-won independence and the undeniable, deeply human pull of family reconciliation. For months, whispers had circulated through the highest echelons of society that July would mark a historic milestone, the first time since the late Queen's Platinum Jubilee in 2022 that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would bring their children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, back to the soil of Harry's birth. The motivation behind this proposed journey was multi-layered, driven not only by a father's profound longing to reunite his children with their grandfather, King Charles, but also by a critical professional obligation that sits close to the Duke's heart. As the creator and driving force behind the Invictus Games, Harry has championed this international adaptive sporting event for wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women, and with Birmingham officially selected to host the Games next year. A promotional tour of the United Kingdom felt like a natural, necessary evolution of his global advocacy. The stakes could not be higher, as this trip was meant to be a grand, meticulously choreographed spectacle that would re-establish their philanthropic presence on British ground while fostering a quiet, private space for multi-generational healing. However, the delicate architecture of this grand return was shattered at the 11th hour, exposing the raw vulnerabilities and systemic blockages that continue to plague the family's cross-continental relationship. The entire enterprise ground to a sudden, painful halt over a singular, unyielding issue that has come to define Harry's post-royal existence, the matter of state-sponsored, taxpayer-funded security. Since relinquishing their roles as working royals, the Sussexes have been stripped of the automatic, round-the-clock, armed police protection provided by the British government, a privilege reserved strictly for those actively serving the crown. For a man who grew up with an acute awareness of the physical dangers that accompany royal status, and who deeply internalizes the tragic lessons of his family's past, the absence of top-tier, government-sanctioned protection is an absolute, non-negotiable barrier to entry. This structural denial by the British Home Office effectively pulled the rug out from under their feet, forcing a sudden cancellation of long-scheduled visits to friends, extended family, and various charitable causes that Harry had desperately hoped to spotlight. An insider close to the situation described the moment as a devastating blow, one that left the Duke in a frustrating holding pattern. Marooned in a state of administrative paralysis, while his wife and young children remained safely ensconced in their temporary European haven, the logistical reality of bringing a young family into an environment of intense public scrutiny without the shield of state security presents an existential challenge that the Duke refuses to take lightly. Currently, Harry expends upwards of $3 million annually to maintain a private elite security apparatus in the United States, utilizing highly trained personnel to safeguard his family's daily life in California. Yet, as robust as private security may be, it lacks the legal jurisdiction, the intelligence-sharing capabilities, and the right to carry specific firearms on British soil that only the Metropolitan Police can command. The realization that his family would be entering what many predicted to be a monumental public circus without the ultimate protection of the state has forced Harry to search for any available legal or logistical loophole. Sources indicate that while the Duke fully intends to bring his own dedicated bodyguards, who travel with him faithfully on every international excursion, the absence of an official police escort creates a dangerous vulnerability that makes Meghan's participation and the presence of 7-year-old Archie and 5-year-old Lilibet an unacceptable risk. The tension behind the scenes is palpable, characterized by frantic consultations with legal advisors and security experts, all trying to construct a bulletproof plan that can guarantee the absolute safety of the family while navigating the rigid, unyielding mandates of the British state. In the midst of this high-stakes deadlock, a sudden ray of hope emerged from the very top of the institution, introducing a fascinating twist to this unfolding drama. King Charles, acutely aware of the passing of time and the fragile nature of his own health, reportedly extended a significant olive branch to his estranged son. Recognizing that the security impasse was the primary obstacle keeping his grandchildren from visiting, the monarch offered a compromise that could potentially bypass the Home Office's restrictions. The king extended an invitation for the Sussex family to reside within the secure perimeter of an official royal residence during their stay, a designation that automatically brings with it a highly sophisticated, localized private security framework capable of keeping the family safe on royal grounds. This gesture was more than a logistical solution. It was a profound emotional signal, a demonstration of a father's desire to see his son and to finally spend precious uninterrupted time with Archie and Lilibet, who have spent the vast majority of their young lives thousands of miles away from the royal court. This offering created an intense internal debate within the Sussex camp, presenting a golden opportunity for a private sanctuary while leaving the broader questions of public security during external charitable engagements entirely unresolved as the days tick away toward the official countdown events for the Birmingham Invictus Games. The narrative tension continues to escalate, gripping the attention of millions who recognize the profound implications of this standoff. The contrast between the king's warm paternal invitation and the cold institutional refusal of the British government highlights the complex duality that Harry must constantly navigate. He is a son wanting to connect with his ailing father, a husband fiercely protective of his wife, a father guarding the innocence of his children, and a global public figure determined to fulfill his duties to the international community of veterans. The gridlock is not merely a dispute over funding or bodyguards. It is a profound manifestation of the deep ideological divide that remains between the life Harry left behind and the independent reality he is trying to build. Every option is being thoroughly exhausted, every potential compromise weighed, as the world watches a family caught in a high-stakes waiting game, where the ultimate prize is nothing less than the safety, unity, and future peace of their fractured dynasty. The delicate diplomatic dance between the internal mechanisms of the British monarchy and the independent trajectory of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is rapidly approaching its ultimate crescendo. Beneath the complex surface of transport arrangements, security logistics, and administrative gridlocks lies a profound human narrative about duty, legacy, and the ultimate cost of choosing a path completely outside the established institutional norms. The upcoming milestone in Birmingham, marking the official countdown to the 2027 Invictus Games, serves as a poignant reminder of what Prince Harry has achieved since stepping away from the traditional boundaries of his birthright. Founded by the Duke in 2014, the Invictus Games have transcended the realm of international sports to become a global symbol of resilience, recovery, and the unconquerable human spirit. For Harry, bringing this monumental event back to the United Kingdom for the first time since its inaugural London tournament is not merely a professional milestone. It is a profound homecoming of his life's most meaningful work. It is an initiative completely rooted in his personal experience as a veteran, reflecting a deep, lifelong commitment to the global community of wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women who find a sense of renewed purpose through competition. Invictusgames2027.org The choice of Birmingham as the host city carries immense significance given the region's historic and deeply established ties to the defense community and advanced military medicine. It is a city that understands the true costs of service, making it the perfect setting for a celebration that honors the physical and psychological triumph of international veterans. Yet the irony remains sharp and unavoidable. The very event designed to foster global connection and community healing has become the focal point for an intense, highly localized struggle over safety, status, and familial reconciliation. The impending journey represents a critical test of how the Sussexes can balance their independent international philanthropy with the rigid, unyielding security requirements imposed by the British state. This situation highlights the permanent duality of Harry's existence, where his public duties as a global advocate are constantly complicated by the institutional consequences of his historic separation from the working core of the royal family. www.nictusactive.com As the family remains in their temporary European sanctuary, carefully weighing the king's unprecedented offer of a protected royal residence. The broader implications of their decision resonate far beyond the immediate circle of the court. For King Charles, the opportunity to gather his family within the secure boundaries of a royal estate represents a precious, increasingly rare chance to bridge a massive geographical and emotional divide. The desire to see Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, who are growing up far removed from the centuries-old traditions of the British monarchy, is an undeniably powerful motivation for a monarch navigating the complex realities of his advanced age and ongoing health challenges. The offer of a royal residence is a masterful stroke of paternal diplomacy, creating a localized oasis of absolute safety that temporarily bypasses the rigid administrative refusals of the Home Office. It provides a dignified space where private family bonds can be quietly nurtured away from the relentless glare of the international media, offering a glimpse of what a modern, reconciled dynasty might look like if personal affection could completely override institutional friction. However, the reality for Meghan Markle and the children involves navigating an environment that has often felt profoundly challenging, turning any potential return into a high-stakes calculation of emotional and physical well-being. The narrative surrounding the Duchess's expected requirements for the trip underscores the intense desire for absolute control over her environment, a natural response to years of unprecedented public scrutiny and safety concerns. Reports of meticulous planning involving private transport arrangements, highly coordinated security protocols, and specific boundary demands at locations like the Birmingham event reflect a family that refuses to leave anything to chance. For Meghan, the United Kingdom is a space of complex memories, and any return must be defined by a guarantee of absolute dignity and safety, not just for herself but for Archie and Lilibet. The challenge is to participate in a monumental public milestone for the Invictus Games while completely protecting the innocence and privacy of two young children who are entirely unaware of the immense historical weight attached to their names. NewsUkraine.rbc The resolution of this high-stakes standoff will ultimately dictate the future framework of how the Sussexes interact with the United Kingdom for years to come. If a compromise is successfully reached, allowing the family to utilize royal protection on official grounds while employing their elite private security team for external engagements, it could establish a vital blueprint for future visits. Such an arrangement would prove that despite the profound institutional divisions, pragmatism and family affection can coexist to create a safe, workable space for multi-generational connection. It would allow Prince Harry to continue his vital advocacy work on British soil, ensuring the 2027 Birmingham Games receive the full, unhindered support of their creator, while allowing King Charles to maintain a meaningful relationship with his youngest grandchildren. The stakes extend far beyond a singular summer vacation. They touch upon the ultimate preservation of family unity in the face of unprecedented historic separation. As the international community watches this gripping narrative unfold, the focus remains locked on the final choices that will be made in the coming days. The transition from a quiet, secretive European getaway to the grand public stage of the United Kingdom represents a monumental shift that will require extraordinary diplomatic skill from all parties involved. The world waits with bated breath to see if the olive branch extended from the throne will be enough to overcome the rigid administrative barriers of the state, or if the security impasse will leave the family's long-term UK plans permanently up in the air. This story, marked by its intense emotional depth and grand global scale, continues to capture the imagination of millions, serving as a powerful testament to the enduring complexity of love, duty, and legacy in the modern era. The final chapters of this summer journey are yet to be written, but the decisions made in this crucial hour will undoubtedly reverberate through the history of this remarkable family for generations to come.